Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something that directly concerns our future, the future of work and artificial intelligence. AI is everywhere now. It can answer questions, write essays, analyze data, even create art. In factories, offices, hospitals, and schools, AI is changing how people work. Some celebrate this as progress, while others fear it as a threat. So the question is, what role will humans play in the age of AI? On the one hand, AI brings many benefits. It can do repetitive tasks faster and more accurately than people. Robots can assemble machines without rest. Algorithms can detect diseases in medical images more quickly than doctors. AI can even support teachers, personalizing lessons for students. These tools can make work more efficient and give us more free time. They can also help us focus on creativity, relationships, and problem solving. But on the other hand, AI creates serious challenges. If machines can do the jobs we used to do, what happens to workers? Some people may lose employment. Others may find it difficult to adapt to new technologies. If the wealth created by AI is concentrated only in a few companies or investors, inequality will grow. And if people lose jobs, they may also lose dignity and a sense of purpose. Work is not only about earning money, it's about meaning and contribution. History shows us that technology always changes work. Tractors reduced farm labor but opened opportunities in industry. Computers reduced clerical jobs but created programming and design. In the same way, AI will eliminate some jobs but also create new ones. The challenge is how we prepare for the transition. Education is the key. If jobs are changing, then what we learn must change too. Memorizing facts is not enough anymore. We need skills that AI cannot easily copy. Critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, empathy. Schools must prepare us not only for today's jobs, but also for jobs that do not yet exist. But this is not only about individuals. It is also about society and justice. If AI increases productivity, who should benefit? Should it only be company owners? Or should it be shared more fairly with workers and communities? Some people propose universal basic income. Others focus on retraining workers. Whatever the solution, it must address both economic security and human dignity. So how should we think about the future of work with AI? I believe it should not be fear versus excitement, but balance. We should welcome AI as a partner, not as a replacement. We should use AI to extend human creativity, not erase it. And we should design systems that ensure fairness, opportunity, and meaning for everyone. The future of work is not something fixed. It is something we will create together. If we only chase efficiency, we may lose freedom and dignity. But if we make wise choices, AI can help us build a society where work is more meaningful and more human than ever before. That is the challenge of our generation, and it is also our opportunity. Thank you.
All right, listeners, tonight's set is not about beats and bass. It's about work, machines, and the rhythms of our future. The track is called The Future of Work and AI, and the hook is this: when artificial intelligence joins the workforce, does it replace the human DJ? Remix the entire set? Let's drop the first beat: automation. From factories to finance, from customer service to creative design, AI is moving into jobs once thought safe from machines. Chatbots answer questions faster than call centers. Algorithms scan medical images with precision. Robots assemble cars with tireless rhythm. The fear is real. If machines can do our work, what will be left for us? Will AI steal the mic and leave humans off stage? But let's listen closer. Every time technology enters, the track changes, but the music doesn't stop. When tractors came, they replaced farm labor, but also freed people to move into industry. When computers arrived, they reduced clerical jobs, but opened space for programmers, designers, and data scientists. The pattern is disruption, then remix. So the real question is not only what jobs will vanish, but also, what new beats will appear? Now cue the counter rhythm, augmentation. AI doesn't just replace, it can also enhance. A doctor with AI can diagnose faster. A teacher with AI tools can personalize lessons. An artist can use AI to generate drafts, then refine with human creativity. Think of AI not as stealing the turntables, but as adding a new deck, giving us more ways to mix. Still, the tension is heavy, because not all beats are shared equally. Some workers retrain and thrive, others are left behind. If AI makes companies more efficient but cuts jobs, who benefits? Investors, executives, or the people whose labor is replaced? If the wealth created by AI flows upward while workers lose security, then the track gets out of balance. That is not harmony, that is distortion. Here is another drop. Identity. Work is not only about money, it's about purpose, dignity, and rhythm in daily life. If machines handle more tasks, do humans risk losing meaning? Or does it free us to focus on what matters most? Creativity, care, relationships. The danger is boredom and loss of dignity. The promise is a new freedom. Which way the track spins depends on how we set the rules. Let's not ignore the global stage. AI is not equally distributed. Some countries lead in research and investment. Others worry about being left behind. If AI widens the gap between nations, globalization may become more about dependence than sharing. So the question is not only personal or national, it is global. Will AI make the world more equal or more divided? And then comes the bridge, education. If work is changing, then learning must change too. Memorization alone won't keep the beat. What matters now are skills like critical thinking, creativity, collaboration. Things AI cannot easily copy. Schools must teach not only knowledge but adaptability, how to learn, unlearn, and remix knowledge across fields. Education is the rehearsal space for the jobs not yet invented. Outro time, AI and work. The risks are real, note a job loss, inequality, loss of meaning. But the opportunities are real too. Productivity, creativity, new possibilities. The beat is not fixed, it is still mixing. So here is the final hook. AI is not the end of work. It is the next track in the human set list. The question is, do we let it play on autopilot or do we stay at the decks, guiding the mix? That is the set for tonight. Stay alert, stay adaptive, and remember, the future of work is not just something we face, it is something you create.
Let us begin with a simple, yet unsettling question. When artificial intelligence enters the workplace, who gains and who loses? We are living in an era when machines no longer only perform physical labor, but also engage in tasks once thought uniquely human. Recognizing images, generating text, composing music, even writing computer code. In offices and factories, in hospitals and schools, AI is reshaping the rhythm of work. The question before us is not only economic, it is also moral. Consider the factory worker who sees her tasks automated by a robot. Consider the lawyer who finds that AI can now draft contracts faster than junior associates. Consider the journalist who discovers that algorithms can generate news summaries in seconds. In each case, the question is not only, what happens to my job, but also, what is the role of human work in a society increasingly run by machines? We have faced versions of this before. When tractors replaced farm labor, millions moved into industry. When computers reduced clerical jobs, new opportunities opened in programming and data science. History suggests that technology destroys some jobs, but creates others. Yet history also tells us that transitions are not painless. Whole communities can be left behind, as we saw in the Rust Belt of America, or in towns where textile mills closed when global competition intensified. So we confront two possibilities. AI could follow the familiar pattern, disruption, then renewal, new industries emerging to replace the old. But AI might also be different. For the first time, machines do not only substitute for human muscle, they substitute for human judgment, human creativity, even human conversation. If this is true, then we must ask, will AI displace not only certain jobs, but the very meaning of work itself? This brings us to a deeper issue, identity and dignity. Work is not only a source of income, it is also a source of purpose. It structures our days, connects us to others, and offers recognition.
Imagine a society where machines perform most tasks,
and humans receive basic income without needing to work. Some would say this is liberation, freedom from drudgery, freedom to pursue art, learning, or leisure. But others would say it is alienation, loss of dignity, loss of a role in the shared project of society. Which view is right? Philosophers have long debated this. Aristotle believed that a good life requires not only leisure, but also participation in civic and productive life. Kant insisted that human beings must be treated as ends, not merely as means. If AI reduces human work to irrelevance, do we risk treating people as passive recipients of welfare, rather than active contributors to a common world? And then there is the question of justice. If AI increases productivity, who should benefit from the wealth it creates? Should gains flow primarily to shareholders and executives, or should they be distributed to workers and communities? If only a small elite gains, while many lose jobs and security, inequality will deepen. We already live in societies marked by widening gaps. AI could amplify these divides. The question is, do we accept this as inevitable, or do we shape policy to ensure fair distribution? Some propose a universal basic income, funded by taxes on AI-driven profits. This would ensure that no one falls into poverty as machines replace jobs. Others propose investing heavily in retraining programs, so workers can move into new fields. Still others call for limits on automation itself, protecting certain professions. Each approach raises questions. Is income enough if dignity is tied to work? Can everyone be retrained at the pace AI advances? Should we restrict innovation to preserve jobs? There is also the global dimension. Nations that lead in AI research may dominate the future economy, while others become dependent. This raises the prospect of a new form of inequality, not only between classes within nations, but between nations themselves. Will AI widen the gap between the global North and South? Will it deepen hierarchies of power in the global economy? These are questions of justice on a planetary scale. But let us return to the personal level. Imagine two students. One embraces AI as a partner. She uses AI tools to write drafts, to code, to analyze data. She sees AI as an amplifier of her own creativity. Another student fears AI will make her skills obsolete. She wonders, why study if a machine can already do better? Both are reasonable reactions. Which will define the future? Empowerment or despair? Depends not only on technology but on the choices we make together. So what should we do? We cannot roll back innovation. AI is here, and it will advance, but we can decide how to govern its use, how to distribute its benefits, how to sustain dignity in an age of intelligent machines. This requires democratic deliberation, not just technical expertise. The future of work is not a matter for engineers alone. It is a matter for citizens, for communities, for all of us. Here is the challenge I leave you with. If we think of work only as a means of earning money, then perhaps AI replacing us seems acceptable, as long as income is provided. But if we think of work as a source of meaning, recognition, and contribution, then the stakes are higher. We must ask, how can we ensure that humans remain active participants in shaping the world, rather than passive observers of machines at work? The answer is not yet written, but the responsibility is ours. We can allow AI to concentrate wealth and power in the hands of a few, or we can design systems that spread opportunity and sustain dignity. We can let machines define the meaning of work, or we can insist that human beings in all their creativity and imperfection remain at the center of our common life. The future of work and AI is not predetermined. It is a moral choice, and it is a choice that belongs to us.